Do you have grit? Do you know what grit is? Well, stay tuned right here on Visibly Fit to find out. Hi there, and welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Do you have grit? Do you know what grit is? Well, actually, you do have grit, and I have someone here to share more about what it is and to tell you how you can muster it up and find it again. Her name is Sunday Burquest, and I knew Sunday way before I actually even met her because I watched her on a reality show called Survivor. She's a real survivor of breast cancer, depression, and many other things as well that we're going to talk about. But welcome to the show, Sunday. I'm so glad you're here.
I am too. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, thanks. So you probably didn't know, I mean, you know now, but you didn't know then when you were on Survivor, the TV show, that you're my sister-in-law's friend, right? So she told me, Sunday, my friend Sunday's on Survivor. You got to watch it. So my husband and I are cheering you on. We're loving every minute of it. And it was Millennials versus Gen X, right?
Yes, yes.
That was so intense for us. How intense was it for you?
I can't even.
Did you find your
tell
grit?
you? Oh, I found a lot more than grit. I'll tell you that. I had no idea. I thought the living part was going to be hard, but really it was the mental and emotional part where I really, really had to dig deep.
Well, right, because they do nothing but lie on that show, and you are an awesome Christian woman. And so how'd you deal with that?
It was an everyday, minute-by-minute decision-making process because I feel like it's a game. So as far as lying, there was some lying on my part, but I tried to do it in a way that wasn't hurtful or in a backstabbing way.
And you did.
But every day, you're measuring, is this the right move? Is this going to help me in the game? Is this going against my faith? Is this going to make me look like a good Christian, or am I going to make God look bad? I mean, honestly, that was my biggest concern.
Sure.
Really was to do right by representing who God is and who Jesus is.
And you did, and I was so proud of you. And you didn't even know us. I mean, but here, I mean, we were just excited. I mean, here's this Minnesota Christian girl, you know, mom has a church and you preach and speak all over. And yet you're, you know, sometimes editors can tweak things, right? Like maybe that wasn't actually how you did it, but they didn't do that with you, which I was so thankful. And I really thought it honored God a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's really the biggest compliment I can get out of the experience. Was that, and having my tribe mates who don't know the Lord tell me that they respected me. That was my biggest compliments, really, because I worked really hard to not give the editors or production team anything negative to work with.
Right. Okay, so what even got you wanting to go on Survivor? Like, what was the thing that prompted you?
Well, we've been watching the show since the beginning as a family.
We are big fans.
Yeah, one show that all of us in the family enjoyed. So we're big fans. So that's where it really started. Probably 10 years ago, I flippantly said, I'm going to be on this show one day. And I have 3 boys and a girl.
Be careful what you say.
I have 3
Where's
boys.
that power?
Yeah, and they just lost it. Oh, you wouldn't make it one day, Mom. Are you serious? And I was like, oh, yeah? Okay. So inside I was like, you know, I might need to make this happen at some point. But fast forward, in 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And, you know, that was a hard couple of years, few years.
Now, did you have to do chemo or anything, or radiation, or how?
I had 7 surgeries, 8 rounds of chemo, 28 days of radiation. So kind of went through the gamut of everything. They found it in my lymph nodes, and that added a little bit extra, you know, to the process.
You are a survivivor.
I am. But everybody is.
Right.
It's just of something different.
That's right.
Right?
That's
we all
good.
have a
That's
story, and that's what I love. But anyways, I got through it. And my oldest son really had a dream to be on the show as well. So he came to me one day. He's like, Mom, you got through cancer. I think that we should go for it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we applied for a season called Blood versus Water. And, you know, when they're casting for reality TV, they're looking for people with a story.
They're looking for people with a Minnesota accent.
Well, that is true, too, because I was told that several times.
It stood out big time.
Mark Burnett himself told me he loved my accent. So I was like, okay. He's like, have you seen the movie Fargo? It's like, no, but I know where this conversation is going. Yeah. So I had a story, and I truly believe God turns all of our negatives into positive. Yeah. And in this case, he took what was the hardest thing in my life and used it to put me on a reality TV show, which on some levels, like, why would God use reality TV? And my answer is, why wouldn't he?
That's good. That's good. And why not have it be called Survivor of all things? I mean, right?
Exactly.
And that you would have to go out and literally endure certain elements and critters and creatures. And like, I don't even know if we want to go into those details because I think, oh my gosh, just going out to the bathroom and the creepy crawlies, whatever. I'm sure you endured a lot of that stuff. And just even sleeping. I remember talking to you offset here about just the elements of the sleeping conditions was part of the hardest part, right?
Yeah, sleep deprivation affects everything. So it reminded me of having a newborn where you never get more than like 2 hours solid and then you're up, and that's what it was like. You're so
like, where did I put my car keys? Oh, they're in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's so all night, up and down because you're so uncomfortable.
And you stayed on for how many days?
35.
35 days.
Out of 39.
Out of 39. That is amazing. Right. Yeah. If you don't know, watch Survivor. So that is just incredible. And you brought, I think God was very pleased with how you played the game, and you played it well. And so it was fun to watch. But more importantly, it's fun to see how God is moving in your life through using that platform and allowing you to minister and share your story with others to give them hope and encourage them. And so that's one of the things that has drawn you to write this book called Grit Girl. And so let's talk a little bit about grit. What does it mean, and how do we have it, or do we already have it?
Well, let me set this up a little bit. Back to Survivor.
Yes.
God's timing is always impeccable, and he always has a plan. Yes. He had this plan way before I knew about it. While I was on the show, I competed in a challenge and won on the very same day I had been diagnosed, just 4 years earlier. And cool. So it was like, God was like, look, I got this.
Yeah.
I've got you here competing and winning a challenge on the same day.
That's cool.
And that gave me the opportunity to share that with my castmates. How did you get through is their question. Yeah. It was my faith, it was God, and it was grit. Right. So taking all of that now and realizing I was so much stronger than I ever thought, more brave than I thought. Yeah. And then like, okay, where did that come from? Well, it came from God in the form of grit, because grit is what allows you to keep going.
Right. And also the grace, because you say power to survive inspired by grace. So it's the grit and grace combined, right?
It is really, and the whole point of that is that the grit isn't there just because I'm a type A tough cookie.
No,
right?
Well, we are weak. He is strong.
Exactly.
That's the grit.
So the whole point is it's coming from him.
Right.
He's providing the strength. He's providing the grit. And that's the grace part.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. And so you were inspired to write this book. And let's talk a little bit about exactly who this book is for and what is the message in here that you really want to share with others. I mean, why should they get Grit Girl?
They should get Grit Girl if they've gone through something hard. If they're going through something
hard. Everybody needs a Grit Girl.
Yeah.
I see.
Exactly.
Because we've all gone through something, right?
Yes, and we will again.
Yeah.
I haven't hit the limit of setbacks.
Not till the day we die, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's for everybody.
Okay.
Because all of us go through things and hard things. And I think hearing someone else's story and how they walked through that journey, my heart is that they would see themselves in the story, because it's not my story that's important. Yeah. It's your story and how you can be inspired and see, oh, God did that for her. Yeah. He'll do it for me.
Everybody has a story, and that's such a great reminder, Sunday, because we're still just learning from the stories from the Old Testament. We can still apply. So any story from now or Old Testament days can still be applicable, right? And we can
Yes.
find hope in them and
Yes.
joy and
Yes.
perseverance and all those things. So your story matters, and I love that we have the opportunity to hear about your story in this book, but also to have this interview today. But we want to hear more about your grit and how you are really giving others hope in just a minute. So stay right where you are. Don't go away. Are you tired of trying everything as it pertains to your health and your well-being? Well, I have something very exciting to tell you. I have a Visibly Fit program that is guaranteed for great results, that involves your mind, your body, and your spirit. Those three are connected. That's the only way you'll see success that is long-lasting. In fact, I have a client who just in 2 weeks of my program, she released 21 pounds. 21 pounds. That could be you, all right? So go to getvisiblyfit.com and apply today. Hello and welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett, and we are here with Sunday Burquest, and she wrote Grit Girl, Power to Survive, Inspired by Grace. And this girl is a survivor of breast cancer. She's a survivor of the Survivor Show for 35 days. She's a survivor. This girl's got grit. And so we're talking about how do you get grit? How do you muster that up? Because we all have it. Grit is a choice, right?
It is. And I really believe you don't even have to muster it up. It's there, given to us by God.
Yes.
And how do I know that? Because the Bible says, I've not given you a spirit of fear
or timidity.
Yes, but of power and love. And you can do all things through Christ, you know?
That's right.
So these things are there. We just have to tap into them.
Yeah, 2 Timothy 1:7, by the way.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Boom.
Love it. So it's there. We just have to
Yes.
tap into it. And I have an acronym I use for grit. It's
Okay.
my Sunday definition.
Yeah.
But G is for guts.
Okay.
A grit girl has guts, and she bravely faces her fears.
I love that.
You can't face fears on your own, but you can when you're depending on God, who says, don't be afraid.
Right.
Jesus himself said, you're going to have trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the end of the sentence.
Right.
He went on to say, but do not fear. I have overcome the world.
Isn't that interesting? Because a lot of people don't put that other part of the scripture with it. It's like, let's put it into context. Let's look at the before and the after.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a good, so guts. Gotta have guts.
Gotta have guts.
All right.
Next, she's resilient. And that means she never gives up.
That's good.
And that you really have to depend on him, because in your darkest moments, what do you want to do?
Give up.
You want
Hide.
to give up.
Crawl in bed
yes.
in the fetal position.
And eat a tub of ice cream.
You dealt with, and we're going to talk about as far as the depression, because that's tough. So guts, resilience.
And she's influential, because a woman with grit doesn't keep the good news to herself.
That's good.
She inspires others with her story, but always pointing people back to where it came from. Our
to the one who
words
gave us
show
the story
God's
to begin
glory.
with.
Yes.
Oh, I love
yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's like a good sale. You tell everybody about a good sale, right?
I'm going.
You're going to tell everybody.
Tell everybody about this book.
Yeah.
Go get it. Go read it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay, so guts, resilience, influential.
And she's tough.
She's tough.
Now, this will lead into the next thing we want to talk about. She's
Okay.
tough mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen right away. But when we're in a place where we don't feel mentally and emotionally tough, and those are those times where we're experiencing anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
That's when we have to tap in.
Yeah.
I think even more so than in other situations.
Yeah, and anxiety and depression is pretty prevalent right now, even more so than ever, because of, I just think, all the stuff that we're being told through social media or just whatever. There's just too much negative information coming, and so that, like, we're carrying it all on our shoulders. And so that anxiety and depression, you went through a bout of that. Was that before your cancer or after, during? When was that?
The anxiety really hit during cancer. Okay. Actually, to pinpoint it, it was my very first chemo appointment.
Okay.
And I thought I was fine. I was goofing around with my sister and my mom on the way there. Okay, we're going to knock out chemo number 1. Silly. And it started.
It's not silly.
Well, I was being positive.
Resilience.
Yeah,
tough.
I was being positive.
Grit.
But the minute that chemo started, I started uncontrollably sobbing. And it was so bad they brought my doctor in. And he's like, you know what? This is normal. And he looked at me and said, you're just having an anxiety attack. And I looked right at him and I said, I don't have those.
Right.
And I said,
yeah. You think
you are having that right now. And but it didn't stay there that day. It followed me. And it was something I had never dealt with before. The gift I got out of it was empathy, was an understanding of what it felt like to feel like you can't get your head above water. Yeah. Like to feel like I couldn't get back to who I was.
Well,
I couldn't get back to me. I had 4 kids. Well, I still have 4 kids.
Yeah.
But I had 4 kids and I could not cook, clean, do lot. 4 kids.
It feels just paralyzed.
Yes. Paralyzing.
Yeah.
And it really just took time. And I, depending on the Lord, right? But not in a religious way. Not in I got to get in my 4 chapters and my da-da-da.
Yeah.
It was more of an understanding that he had me.
Yeah.
That there was hope even in the hardest times. And that I didn't have to make myself get out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good right there, right? Because I think a
I
lot of
wasn't
times.
my own answer.
Right. Just allow him to carry you through it.
Yes.
Right?
I'm not my own answer. I'm not my own solution. He is.
That's right.
And so, what I discovered through that and through other people that have gone through it is as Christians, we start to feel guilty. Or there's a sense of shame, like, well, if you were a good enough Christian, you wouldn't having, and that's so far from the truth.
Right.
And then we hide it from each other. Yeah. So because
how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great.
Yes.
Doing great. Yeah.
Then you don't get help because
true.
What does God do? He uses people. Well, if no one knows you're dealing with it.
So it's about being authentic, right? And that's one of the things I love about you, Sunday. And I know that's one of the things that everybody loves about you is that you are authentic, you're real, you're beautiful inside and out. And that's what allows other people to resonate. And people want that grit, and they see it in you, and they see that you're an overcomer. And we can all be overcomers, right? Yes. And again, it's getting back to knowing who you are and whose you are, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Receiving. And so with that anxiety and depression, how long did it take you to get out of that with God's help?
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
And Survivor had a lot to do with that because I felt like once I found out I was going to go on the show, I had said to the Lord, I want to go there and I want to come back different. Good. And I want this, I called it my residual breast cancer after effects. I wanted to leave them in Fiji. And I was able to do that.
That's cool.
But it was a two almost 3-year process.
Yeah.
And you know what? Give yourself a little break.
More grace.
A little grace. Like I always think of like if you were having a hard time, Wendie, I wouldn't come over and say, snap out of it. What's wrong with you? I would never do that. But we do it to ourselves.
Right.
We do it to ourselves.
Big time. You're absolutely right. Yeah, we're harder on ourselves than we are if we're trying to minister or love on somebody else.
Give yourself grace.
It's a good word.
Give yourself the gift of time. Yeah. Give yourself the opportunity to let God speak to you.
Yeah, individually, because he speaks to us all differently, right? Yes. We don't have to do what our friend did or what someone at church did. It's our own journey, right?
Yeah, and absolutely.
So, speaking of journey, and as I'm sitting here looking at you, I see that you have a tattoo on your arm. And so I thought I would just bring that up because what does it say?
It says, Sunshine?
Sunshine.
It says, Sunshine, love you with all, Dad. And my dad used to call me Sunshine. He passed away when I was 30 of cancer, and he was only 49. It's way too young. Wow. But he had given me a card with this signature on it. I've had it for over 20 years.
So this is his handwriting?
This is his handwriting.
Can you show it to the camera? I'm just,
Which drug? Like
right here. Yeah, I just think that's so cool, I mean, a lot of times people might look differently at Christian women that have tattoos, right? And judge and whatever. Yeah. But you know what? This is something very special to you. And your father passed away. And what kind of cancer did he have?
Actually, I can't even say the name. It was so rare that the doctor said 149 people in the entire world had it.
Wow. Wow.
And it progressed into his lungs eventually, but
Okay,
the start of
okay.
it was near his bladder area. It was just, but the spot for me is perfect because no matter what I do, if I'm speaking or talking, I can just go like this and it's like, Dad loves you.
Aw.
And it also is a reminder of the Father God.
Yeah.
Right? Because I knew that my earthly father loved me and I was
Yeah.
blessed in that. I know that not everyone has that experience, but if you don't, you can go to the Heavenly Father and feel that same love.
Absolutely. Ah, I'm so glad you shared that with us. You're so sweet. Well, you are a grit girl. You're amazing. And I want to encourage you all to go to the website at the bottom of the screen, wendiepett.com/gritgirl, and get your copy today. But stay tuned because we want to talk about the T, the tough. I've got some physically tough stuff to show you when we come back. Stay tuned to Visibly Fit. Hey there, it's Wendie Pett here, and I am so excited. I am on my way to go meet with one of my past clients. She went through my 7-week program and had incredible results. She released 35 pounds and 29 inches. She did incredibly well. But it's been 5 months now, and now she has released 72 pounds. She has rocked the Visibly Fit program, and I'm just so excited for her. She's a single mom, and she really hasn't been doted over that much lately, and I wanted to surprise her. So I want to take you on the journey with us today. I'm going to surprise her. I've already told her about it, but I'm going to meet her at the mall for the first time ever because I've only worked with her through the computer, through the coaching and training. And so I will meet her for the first time today, and we're going to do a full-blown makeover. So she's going to get some clothes that fit, and we're going to do her hair and her makeup and just have a good time. So I wanted to invite you along with us on this journey. Hope you enjoy it. So hopefully she'll be here soon. Hi. Has Deb checked in yet?
No,
No.
she's right there.
Oh, this is Deb.
Sorry.
This is Deb. This is Deb. How exciting. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, see? Look, you didn't know this was going to happen, right? Surprise! So what do you think? You like it? Very cute. Turn around, turn around. Cute. Okay, so we just got her hair done. Isn't she cute? Deb, you're such a good sport. And now we're going to Aveda to get her makeup done. And this is like just a fun little girls' day makeover. Have you ever done a makeover before? Not a long time. Yeah, this is fun. So, all right, well, keep joining us on the journey here. Leaving Aveda. What do you think? Isn't she hot stuff? Beautiful, beautiful. Now we're headed to go get this adorable woman some clothes that fit. All right, so stay tuned for that. It's coming. It's coming. She's going in to try on some clothes. Go for it, Deb. She's finally going to have some clothes that fit. Finally. Okay, work it. I love it. Oh my goodness, adorable. And you picked that one out yourself. I love that sweater. Super cute. And look at that. I mean, you're wearing fitted clothes, Deb. Here's the next one. I love it. So cute. So cute. Turn around. She likes the fun sleeves, right? I'm so proud of her. If you want to send an email and tell her how proud of her you are, and I'm going to post her before and after here too. Send it to Wendie@wendiepett.com, and I'm gonna send it to her. And I know it will encourage her. So, all right, stay right where you are. We've got more in just a moment. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Nope, you've never seen me like this before, have you? Before the break, we were talking about being a grit girl? Do you have grit? Do you have guts? Do you have resilience? Do you have influence? Are you tough? Because you may not think you are, but you are. And women especially need to get a little more tough. So I'm going to show you how to get a little more tough, and that's by doing push-ups. A lot of times women think that, oh, that's just a workout for guys. No, if you want to get stronger, you need to do push-ups. It's also great for your posture. It's great for if you have weak shoulders, maybe rotator cuff injuries, and they're just a little weak. I'm telling you, push-ups are where it's at, all right? So let me just kind of give you a quick tutorial, if you will, and I want to encourage you to get tough and do push-ups, all right? Your body will thank you. Okay, now here's what you do. Now, just a standard push-up, you can either be on your nose, how about on your toes? Please do not do it on your nose, that'd be really weird. But on your toes, and just a standard about shoulder width apart, okay? You're just going to go down and up. They're not easy. You can see that I'm shaking, but as you're doing those, you want to hold your stomach in really tight because that will protect the low back, all right? Remember, we're talking about having good posture and getting stronger. It's important and it's very sexy, if you will, to have a strong upper body. We are able to have better functional fitness and just do functional living better when we have strong arms, strong upper bodies, just from holding babies to carrying groceries. So push-ups are where it's at, okay? Now, whenever you do a push-up, I want to make sure that your back is parallel to the ground. Don't bring your bottom up and don't, concave your back. Make sure it's really parallel to the floor, okay? That's very important. Now, I showed you a standard push-up, and if you can't get on your, remember I said nose a minute ago, toes, then start off on your knees. And then after you master that, maybe you take one leg to your toe, one toe, and you're on one knee, okay? You master that. You keep getting stronger, then you take it to your toes. Make sense? Now that's just the standard push-up. You can do a wide stance, okay? That means taking your arms out past your shoulder width apart. And then you go ahead and do a push-up that way. Again, if you need to start on your knees, that's fine too. You're all about working where you are most comfortable, but I want you to also push through that comfort and get a little uncomfortable too, because if you just attempt it and try it, you might be surprised at what you can do. Maybe you can only do a half of a push-up. That's okay. That's a place to start. Go to that half of a push-up and hold it there in an isometric hold as long as you can. So, for instance, maybe you're just on your knees, you're starting out for the first time, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is as far as I can go. Fine. Hold it here, and hold it, and hold that stomach in to protect the low back. Remember, your back is still like it's very flat, and it's like a ramp, okay? You want to get it, as, of course, as parallel as possible, but it still is kind of a parallel, or excuse me, kind of a ramp, but it's straight. But that's where you will hold it until you get stronger and stronger. So that's my message to you, is to get a little more tough. Start working in push-ups to your everyday routine, and I promise you will get stronger, and you're going to have more confidence, and it's going to help your posture. So hope that helped today, and I hope that encourages you. Just start out with just 1 to 5 every day, then work your way to 10, then 12, then maybe 15, then eventually you're going to be at 50. You will shock yourself, but just keep doing it. You will master it. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this show today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you same place, same time next week on Visibly Fit.